Hey YouTube, welcome back. Car Care Companion and Engineer Boy 100 here. I've got a really cool mod for you today. This is a silicone air intake boot for the E36 M3, and it fits on the stock throttle body and the stock 3-inch mass airflow meter. This boot is high quality. Stitching reinforced, and I've looked high and low all over the internet for a replacement of the OEM cracking, drying out, leaking, giving you vacuum leaks, code P01188, code P01189. Those of you who've had this know what I'm talking about. This boot solves air boot leak problems pretty much forever. This is an excellent air boot. It's offered by Cosmo Racing. You can find them at cosmoracing.com on the internet. Excellent company. They produce very quality products, but in addition to that, they have excellent customer service. I've been in communication with them in the past for issues or different things I needed, and they helped me out. These guys are a real stand-up team, and I highly recommend them. I'm going to go ahead and install this. It's real easy. What comes in the kit is the boot itself. There's a cool little plaque. I'll show you that. I've already installed mine, but I'll show you that better when I'm all done and I show you a shot of this. You'll see the plaque on my strut tower support. And then there's a spacer for the stock 3-inch mass airflow meter. Take this off, and it's just another piece of the silicone here, but it takes up the space because this really goes on a 3.5 inch. So this really comes in handy so that you can use your stock mass airflow meter. You can use your stock throttle body. Now the key with this stock throttle body, this particular model of M3 has the asc+t traction control on it, and I didn't want to take that off. There's a lot of these on the market that are offered, but you have to remove your traction control because it has a complete elbow on the boot. So you have to delete this. This one allows you to keep your traction control if you want, and that's why it's so unique. And it's the only one I could find of this quality that wasn't just a cheap OEM version. This is the only one. It's about $100, but for me it's worth it because the stock one, I just keep on replacing it. So I'm going to go ahead and install this now. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit closer. You won't see me anymore, but you can see what I'm doing, and you can get a really good idea of what it takes to install this. It doesn't take much. Okay, so here we are. The first thing I'm going to do is just install the spacer on the mass airflow meter. Make sure it's going in the right direction. There's a little arrow, and you put the spacer on the boot side. So I'm just going to put this. It doesn't even take any tools. You just slip it on, stretch it, and it slides right on. It makes a nice tight. I mean, look at that tolerance. It's nice and tight already, even without having the hose clamp on it yet. It's good and tight. This is going to go inside the boot. Then step 2, you want to make sure you plug in your idle air valve hose up underneath. You want to do that first. You don't forget, and then have it all together and have that not connected. So we're going to go down, grab that. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm just going to plug that in like so, and it just slides in. After that, the next thing you want to make sure you don't forget is to put your hose clamp on. Put your hose clamp on the throttle side of the boot. Put it on the boot first. It's a nice tight fit too. Boy. But that's good because you don't want that thing leaking. Alright, so now take your hose clamp. I always put mine with the screw up so it's easier for me to reach. Pull it all the way back. And then you can slide this right on the throttle body, and it's a perfect fit. It just goes right on. Look at that. Goes all the way up to the hilt. And then you can just tighten that up. So now you have your you have your bilayer valve hose on, and you have your throttle body side of the hose installed like so. And that's good. And then I will just tighten that up, but it'll come loose on me when I do the other side. I just tighten that down like so. That's a really good fit there. Very nice. Awesome. Next, I take the mass airflow meter and I just back it in. It's a little tricky. You gotta do this. If you have to have a cold air intake. This will not work on a stock airbox. So that's another point I should have mentioned earlier. So I back it into the air filter side first and try to go in at an angle into the air boost. So I back it in here and just kind of force it down at 45 degrees and into the air boot, and you can rotate it to get it to slide better and get your spacer lined up inside there. And it just goes in just like so. Here we're working to get both of these sides in at once. So it's a little tricky, but it can be done. Get that all the way in there and rotate it. And you know what? I forgot to put the hose clamp on, but you know I'm not gonna worry about that. You can just open it up, put it on. So this goes down, down, down. You want to rotate that so it's off in there. And then put this on here. Work this up so that you can put your connection on. And this there. That's good. I'm going to go ahead and tighten this side up. We'll rotate this a little bit. We're going to rotate this side down too. And it's good to see the detail. Rotate this a little bit more because this isn't square. Rotate this around. There we go. Better. Tight. Yep. Not back far enough. Slipping off. If you could clamp way back. Way back. Almost to the edge. There's not very much space on that throttle body. Make sure you have the clamp over the metal. That looks good. So now I'll put this side on. And I'll just take this clamp and open it all the way up. So I don't want to take that back off. And you can trim this if you like, but I'm not going to trim it because I don't want to accidentally trim too much. And that would be a whole nother scenario. So I'm going to just leave it there. Get this lined up to where that spacer is. It's really tight in between the strut tower, so I'm going to get it pretty much lined up where you want it on that part, on that side first, and then just tighten it up on that spacer. So make sure I'm lined up correctly. A nice solid clamping surface there, under there, so you don't have any vacuum leaks. And once you get that lined up correctly, you're going to be good to go. And once this is installed properly, you should never have to replace it again, or at least not for a very, very long time. And there you go. Reconnect your electrical connector on your MAF, and off you go. So now let's go ahead and look at put this down so you can see the Cosmo Racing plaque that they send with their kit. So here she is, the air intake boot's all installed, and it looks great, and these work great. I've run one for about 7 months now, and you can actually, well, I can actually feel a difference in my torque curve between like 4,000 and 6,000 RPM. It's smoother, and I could tell the difference because I have power pulleys on here and a lightweight flywheel combined with a larger intake manifold. I had modified this to OBD1 intake manifold, and with the cold air intake and the exhaust, when you get to the higher RPM, you can tell when the air is flowing better if you really push it hard and you know what to feel for. I have an experienced feel, so I can actually really tell. But this is the air intake boot from Cosmo Racing. There's the metal plaque I had mentioned earlier. Very nice. Aluminum. It has the adhesive back, self-adhering. So I highly recommend this part. It's a really good part. I'm very happy with it. It takes a little bit of wiggle work, but you don't have to be a super auto mechanic to install it. But it's absolutely beautiful. I appreciate it. Thank you, Cosmo Racing, and hopefully other people can go to your website and enjoy this wonderful part.